Descent. Today we're going to be chatting about The Descent.
No, let's do The Descendants, huh? George Clooney, Oscar-worthy performance.
It's his magnus opus.
Alexander Payne at the top of his game.
I fucking love Alexander Payne. Sad man. That shit slaps.
I know, right? Sometimes you watch his stuff and you're like, ooh, his skew on life is a little bit sideways. Anyway, the Wachowskis made this.
Wachowskis made this. Do we have an opening? Nah, fuck
No,
it. My name's Oscar.
My name's Carl. This is Who Would Watch This.
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast we watch a film, chat about the film, and try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about Jupiter Ascending, which currently has a 5.3 on IMDb, a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 2 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
A young woman discovers her destiny as an heiress of an intergalactic nobility and must fight to protect the inhabitants of Earth from an ancient and destructive industry. Oh, chills.
Oh, wow.
Man.
This sounds like a hit, if you ask me.
This sounds dense. Hopefully it's spread across... 2 hours. Okay, we're gonna just...
That'll be fine. Surely most scenes won't be heavy exposition every time.
That's...
Surely, Oscar.
That's the beauty of it, you know? It's show don't tell, huh? Carl, before we even start ripping this one a new one, huh? That's what we do here.
Yeah, we always fucking beat a movie to death.
Just beat the shit out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of DVD carcasses around here.
Oh, absolutely. We stomp them. I want to gutter stomp this movie, am I right, huh?
Before we do that, do we go back to the last week, huh? Remember we did some stuff?
We're getting lazier and lazier with this intro.
Yeah. No newcomers are gonna love this, you know? They're not like, what the fuck is this?
At this stage,
I assume you've all listened to 160 episodes and are similarly tired of this intro.
I'm trying to alienate current listeners.
Carl, we got an email. I can't find the email, but someone, I think, wrote Jupiter Ascending. I think that was the only text.
They did. I think they just put it as the subject, and then nobody.
Nobody.
It was...
So I don't know whether that's a threat or like it's just like my horoscope's been rerouted, but that's
where it's at. And it was also definitely like 3 months ago or 2 months ago or something. I do not want to watch this again. Like, I've seen it once. I think I remember it vividly.
It's crazy. Like, again, ask www.podcast@gmail.com. Like, you can just write the header of just a thought. Like, again, I can't stress to you, this person wrote the header, Jupiter Ascending, and yeah, we took 3 months to get to it, but we got to it, haven't we?
We got to it. Sometimes we will dig down a pile. Oscar, have you seen this one before?
No, but I got the gist, you know? Got the gist.
Oh, so you've never seen this?
Never seen it,
wow.
No.
I saw this opening weekend.
Wow, were you in your Matrix, were you in your Neo outfit and be like, I freaking can't wait for another, not Transformers, whatever the other one was called.
I think this is the first movie I saw in Sydney when I moved to Sydney.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
What a welcome, huh?
I think this is
a spit in the face. And then you went and saw this movie.
I was like, oh my god, what's this, Hoyts? What is this? This is me from a little country town.
What, you don't have Hoyts? God, you're poor.
I was like, a little independent cinema? This has how many seats is this? God, this will be a great experience. It wasn't. Didn't help. I was also very lonely and depressed. So this
don't blame on the film. You know, I'm gonna go in this in the highest mental state I've ever been. You know,
I watched this and I was like, wow, things could be worse. Things could be a lot worse.
It's actually a pick me up. Like, oh, thank God. You know, maybe I will make it, huh?
I'm gonna throw out that I remember very, very specific things about this. I remember Eddie Redmayne's performance.
Yes,
100%. I think he's barely in it. Like, but I really remember him just whispering and then shouting. And then I also remember, and I think it's the best scene in the movie, but I remember this very like bureaucracy thing where it's like she's got to go through almost like an airport terminal.
Yes. And
I just remember thinking that was very like Terry Gilliam or something.
Okay, gotcha.
Those are the only two things I remember.
Yes.
So I disliked it.
Okay, well, using what you've given to me, I'm seeing like essentially the DMV and Eddie Redmayne's in the corner shouting. I'm gonna say it's a family movie, huh? Put this on Disney Plus. With that ingredients, that's who would watch this.
Oh yeah, I mean,
family sit down. That's for everyone.
It sounds like a hit, right?
How much are they spending it?
I have no idea.
Ooh.
Well, how much was it?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, actually, I feel like maybe it was fairly good looking. Like the Wachowskis do make good looking films.
Yeah.
So I don't want to watch it again. I remember it being...
I assume it's a crisp... How long is it?
it's got to be over 2
Oh
hours.
God, people. I mean, I guess I'm just burning myself. If you're gonna email us, make sure the film runtime's like 80 minutes. But you know what I've just done there? People are gonna be like, you gotta check out
I know.
this nice 4-hour international film, and it's sad.
We've never been told to watch an international film.
People keep pushing us to watch Michael Haneke films, and they're great. But it's hard to mock the piano teacher.
You can't. It's simply too harrowing. All of them are. Oscar, who do you reckon's going to watch this?
Well, I feel like, I don't know, off the poster and off like what I vaguely know. Family.
I reckon it's a family film.
No. I feel like, genuinely, it feels like Grandma's gone, we're gonna watch one of those Marvel films, and she's kind of walked up and gone, that looks pretty much like what they are. Yeah, and Grandma doesn't know. She's like, all right, where the hell's this Thanos, huh?
Yeah.
She's quite in with the crowd. She was before 2015. She knew the stuff. She knew the lore. She didn't know the films. So this is confused grandmas. I think I love this one.
Absolutely. I think it's just like a couple that's met in the middle. I reckon it's one guy that's gone, he loves 21 Jump Street, and the girl's gone, and I've seen a lot of that 70s show. And they've gone, surely there's a crossover for us somewhere, and they've landed on this.
It's Family Guy. That's the crossover. Comedy and Meg. You know, like, yes, but they've walked into this.
The Meg, the trench.
Put it on. Carl, Jupiter Ascending. Odd. Lot of emotions here. I'm not sure what to feel.
Yeah, it was quite a watch.
It was quite odd.
It's kind of just like 3 vignettes.
Yeah, I don't really know how to structure this, because I feel like if we talk about the plot, we're gonna have to then talk about the backstory, and that's the podcast.
It's basically a 2-hour film.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
It's sort of cut into just like 4 half-hour plots,
You're praising it. It's like they've put it into 3 acts.
It's basically the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, if you will. It's sort of just like, oh, what would the Coen
If it
brothers
was connected, you know, if each character kept going on, just like the only movie you watch is
It's-
Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
That's what you can base it off of. It's sort of like Love Actually. It's basically Mila Kunis on Earth for 30 minutes, and then just like Mila Kunis meets a sister, Mila Kunis meets a brother, Mila Kunis meets the other brother.
Yeah.
And that's the structure of the film.
And there's so much world building, and
There's too much world building.
It's such an odd feeling, because it's like the films. Okay, we'll go into. I've done a little.
Let's just begin.
Let's begin.
Let's just begin. We get a prologue. Cut it.
It is though, because Mila Kunis' parents, mum and dad, are like, hey. Are you a fucking nerd? Like, yeah, I fucking love looking at stars. Just like, great, cool.
Look
whatever.
at this gold fucking telescope, huh? Why don't you hump it? Why don't I put my penis in one side and you put your butt on the other side, and
This man is a man who knows sex. Big sex head over here.
I've never seen anyone naked, not even myself.
I know a telescope's involved, though. I know that's the.
I know that's the main crux of sex,
Of
right?
course, of course.
I own so many.
They own a telescope. The dad is shot, and the mum is on a tanker.
He
to
shouldn't
America.
have gone for it.
I don't know. Yeah,
He's really
This is the saddest thing. He's getting robbed by these guys. They don't come back, so don't even worry. He's like, "Give me your money." He's like, "Don't take." He's like begging, like, "No, the telescope."
They're basically
is just like dying a nerd.
It's the one item they take. They don't ransack anything else. It's so
they're robbers, but they've gone. This has sentimental value, and that's the only thing we really steal here.
It's the most specific, like, poorly written thing where they go, robbers come in, there's 5 of them, they all work together to steal one object. The object he loves. Like, they could hurt the wife. They could do so many other things, and they're like, what's this telescope? 3 legs? Buckles it up. They're like, oh, it's so transportable, like, over their shoulder. I do wonder, spoilers, I guess, I don't know, because by the end she gets a telescope, right?
Yeah.
Do they think...
Her arc's getting a telescope. That's what kickstarts this whole thing.
Stupid. But do we think they all paid the money to the people that murdered?
Oh, 100%. Like, she's like looking up on eBay like, man, my dad had the exact same one. The robber's like, this is a long con, but it paid off.
This is them sitting there like, we got to murder someone, steal an item, and then pay it off so long later.
25 years they've waited to sell this on eBay. There's 5 of them. It sells for $4,000.
It's been on eBay for 20. It's been sitting there. It's got a buy it now option just ready to go.
Not a single bid's been placed.
Never. They've never reduced it. They got some sucker. They were like,
when she grows up, she is gonna go ham on this.
do you reckon they bought it and then somebody was like, oh, what item sold for that amount of money? I'll have to go down into storage, and they like blew all the dust off of it, and they were like, oh, I murdered someone for this. Killed them in cold. Oh, and the wife was pregnant too. Wow, how times have changed.
I like we've got more out of this opening than the film does.
That's good world building.
Yeah.
We've just done good world building.
This podcast is famous for its world building. This film then goes, all right, you learned something? Great. This is our protagonist. Don't worry about her, because we've got Eddie Redmayne and his 2 siblings on an alien planet.
It's a weird intro where it's like 3 of them on a green screen just fucking chatting.
It's such a shame, because the film genuinely looks gorgeous. However, all the people in it are just Spy Kids in.
Yeah.
So it's this beautiful skybox with just green screen 3 people. And
Yeah.
it's you kind of took away from it.
A lot of it comes across to me as test screenings hated this and were confused.
Yeah.
We're getting you back for a day, and we're going to green screen in heavy simplified exposition.
Yes.
Because anytime you sort of go, huh? Pretty quickly somebody answers the question in a close-up of
That's the thing.
I assume their home office where
Yeah.
they were like, can you just record it on your iPhone and we'll just IMAX that shit later.
Famously, it blows up quite well. Now,
oh, it's so grainy. It's probably film.
there we go. That's how the big directors do it. No, it's because this film's got plagued, but I looked in the background, the budget got slashed as they were shooting, by half.
Are you
The
surprised?
test script. Oh no! Imagine the producer.
Absolutely. Imagine getting a daily of this. Absolutely. You'd be like,
So Channing Tatum's a wolf, and we paid how $400 million. Cool. All right.
cut that in half.
Start robbing the place. With the only way we're gonna make money.
Oh, the bees select a queen? Give them 40 million. That's it.
A24 wouldn't touch us with a stick.
Make this a Run Lola Run-esque film, okay? Just cut it all down.
But yeah. So the whole budget's odd, and then the test screen, it got postponed 8 months. The script was 300 pages. It seems like a dense world building, which they've gone. Let's make it 2 hours. It's odd. They simplify. They've gone. All right, we're gonna chuck you into the deep end with the world building, but then a lifeguard's gonna swim out to you in the deep end and gonna tell you, hey, here's how you save yourself. And it's just just save us.
Yeah, they're going to explain to you how you save yourself, and they'll get you in far enough that you can paddle, that you're in the shallows,
Yeah.
but you're still drowned.
You're still drowned.
He goes and he's like, you'll be sweet now to get yourself out, comes back, you're face down dead in the shallows.
That's the 40-minute mark.
It's me 9 minutes in before the title's even dropped. All telescope, and I'm just floating, just bobbing dead.
Oh god, it's such a odd. Yeah, it's a shame.
It's definitely, if you're a producer, don't greenlight a script that's 300 pages.
I get because they have the Wachowskis have gone for they've done The Matrix, so I feel they've always gonna have
They've got everybody isn't. It's a very famous movie that so many people passed on.
Yeah.
And that's how they keep getting big stars and big budgets. Is that you don't want to miss out on making the next Matrix.
It's odd though. I feel they've had a bit of I don't know, a bit of a reevaluation of their films. I think with The Matrix and stuff. I've not seen Cloud Atlas. I think you have.
I love Cloud Atlas.
Is this similar vibes? Because that one's 3 hours long.
Cloud Atlas is one of the most stunning films visually. It's so well made. So well made. And that it's dense. I would not recommend watching that in one sitting, because it's also it's so many mini stories that coincide, but it means that none of them have a climax till the end. Gotcha. So you're like, oh, this is just the middle of 10 stories happening for a while. No, that's like a really good film, and they also I think have another director on that because it's such a big film. I think it's directed by 3 people.
Gotcha, huge. And I feel like Speed Racer's gotten like a bit of like a resurgence of people being like, nope, actually that's a stunning film.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't like Speed Racer.
I was going to watch that because my partner also went, it's actually great. And I was like, cool, it's 2.5 hours long. I was like, that's a lot. Maybe soon, but that's a lot.
Yeah.
But they've got like Sense8. They've got stuff,
Yeah, Sense8's good. They've always got style.
Yeah.
For sure. They've always got style. And I think the thing I really like about Cloud Atlas is it is based on a book. And I mean, they nailed it. The Matrix is excellent. But the world building that they then do on top of the Matrix is what convolutes that franchise.
Yes, 100%.
That I'm like, I think they're gangbuster directors, but as writers, nah.
But it also, like, I feel like a lot of the times, like, their whole, like, a lot of their themes, like, I feel like most of the time it's, like, rebelling against, like, kind of like revolution, like in most of their films.
Yeah.
And then it's odd that they're going to studios and getting bigger budgets to push that, where studios not really gonna, that's the mainstream. So you're never really gonna get that, like, message across. I feel like this is the perfect one.
I would love to see them like Shyamalan themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And just be like, self-fund a movie for 10 million and just make whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Sense8 pretty much is, right?
Yeah, that's true. Sense8's very much like that. But I mean, what sucked about Sense8 is I think I got cancelled, right? I mean, I never finished that, but I did like the first season.
I think they got a finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, what are they doing? Only one of them's directing now, aren't they? Only one person did. Only one of the, I think, was it Lana Wachowski?
I'm not sure. You thinking the Coens? Because one of them's dropped out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Imagine if they met up.
Oh my god.
A Coen Wachowski? That'd be great.
That would be great.
Joel and Lana, killing it.
Do we get into the plot? Because I feel like we've got the
I don't even know how to attack
it. Now I think we can just...
Mila Kunis cleans toilets.
Mila Kunis character. She's named Jupiter.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because she's ascending.
She ascends into the sky.
Always she's on a slope.
Never not ascending. That was a big thing that the dad whispered to the fetus when dying.
He engraved it on the telescope. He said, always ascend. I hope your name's Jupiter, otherwise this is going to really destroy the market resale.
Never don't ascend.
Jupiter, let's just... we're trying to explain world building. We got dead parents. Mila Kunis is now living with her mum and a bunch of cousins.
And one Australian man.
It's good for him.
His accent, I don't know what he's doing. That's such an Australian man. Like
we've also got Eddie Redmayne and his 2 siblings, a brother and a sister. They're the Arrakis family. The film didn't retell. They own all planets. They're like the most wealthy people in the entire solar system.
It's crazy now that Dune's come out.
It feels like they've been...
This movie has borrowed so much from Dune.
Oh yeah, I think they were like, no one's gonna read that.
Yeah,
book.
nobody's gonna
read the David Lynch one. Fuck it, we can just gank this shit.
It genuinely feels to me like they would have probably made a pretty good Dune. But nobody wanted to give them Dune.
No.
Oh god, didn't he nail Dune?
He nailed
nailed Dune. But it's so what they're doing is so much like spice.
It's the point of view of like someone like lower on like Dune, opposed to like it's like, hey, that Paul fella's a bit of a cunt.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It's sort of like there are little nuggets that'll complement this movie on the more that we discuss it.
Yes.
But it feels to me like, especially if this script started at 600 pages, whittled its way down to 300 pages, and is now ended at 120 pages, it probably should have just been a TV series.
Yes. You're right. There are, like, the films, like, there's good bits of it, but it's just weird that it's been squashed into this, like, $250 million corporate... like blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's like they had all these things, cookie cutter, and then they've gone, let's just do this little bit here, and it's made an odd film.
Yeah, like I think one of the things that the movie sort of makes a mistake on is sometimes if like your movie's not working, it sort of means you have not picked the right main character. And I think the character of Jupiter is a really boring character to have to follow this movie through.
So, yeah.
And they allude to like the infighting of this family, and it's so much more interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it should just like, we should be following like one of these siblings that's like really good or something. And it's like, oh, is there a pawn out there? Like, how best can I use the pawn? Like, it's weird that it's like, Jupiter's a human. These people are basically like sentient gods, and they have an interesting backstory and history, and we're going to focus on Jupiter.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then you've also got, so we've got like essentially these three people, Arrakis gods. Their mother's died, and she's been reincarnated as Mila Kunis. And now they're hunting her. Essentially, it's crazy.
She's Queen of the Earth.
She's Queen of the Earth. It's odd that this film revolves a lot around like just legalities. Just like, well, she legally owns Earth. Like, it's a lot of territories and stuff like that, which could work in a great world building. But it's odd when like the whole main thing is like, we've got to get her to sign a contract, otherwise we have not got this. On top of that, world building, which I think works.
Yeah.
It's odd they've also gone, there's also a second side to this. The Agenis, I can't remember the name. They can morph with animals. And that's why Channing Tatum looks like a wolf. It's half wolf.
It's like 50% more than you need.
Yeah.
Constantly.
It was like a hat on a hat. Like, you got it. Like, that stuff, great. And then Channing Tatum's just like a soldier who's like resistance against them, great. But they had to chuck that in. And
some of them, it's like, because so he's like half wolf.
Yes.
Half human.
Yeah.
But he had wings.
Yeah.
And then some of them are like, wait, are they just chucking wings on all of them?
I think
because
so,
the lizards have wings.
They have wings,
but they're
yes.
not human at all.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what again, it's like a lot of things, and the film's trying to keep you up to speed with it. And it's odd that like they're dumping so much information, not really like showing and telling and then not showing at all. And then you're also like, hey, here's our protagonist who's not really involved in it. And I feel like if she was like the eyes to this world, great. And I think they've kind of gone, yeah, kind of, but she's just sort of walking past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just I just couldn't be less interested in this character, especially because it definitely feels like the Wachowskis just aren't that interested in her either. Because so much of she's basically the damsel in every situation.
Yeah.
The movie's so repetitive in terms of it gets her into a situation, Channing Tatum saves her, and that happens 3 times.
Yes.
Like, it's just
It
per
is 3 times.
sibling.
Yeah, pretty
like,
much.
it's just whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Look, let's just get to one of the things that this movie thinks is really cool that I could just never get behind. These little hoppy shoes.
I don't mind the rollerblade shoes. I kind of fuck with the rollerblade
I
shoes.
didn't like the
I saw some
hoppy
behind
shoes.
the scenes. It just seemed like Channing Tatum just swinging from poles, and that's kind of fun.
I
like
never
that.
looked good to me.
You don't think?
No.
I get,
sometimes it did.
Yeah.
But not always.
I get why this film was so like heavily like pretty much mocked
Mm.
because they've done big world building and they've chosen little elements and they're just odd choices.
Yeah.
The rollerblade shoes, Channing Tatum being a wolf, Eddie Redmayne's odd performance, which none of the siblings follow. I think if the siblings followed his like
That's what I
his
thought.
breathy. Cause I get like it makes sense. Like they're 14,000 years old. If you haven't seen the movie, you must be so fucking lost. Anyway, he's 14,000 years old. He should have that breathy, like sort of like almost like godlike feature. The siblings just casually chat.
Yeah, I wish that they resembled more of like an actual sibling, like 3 siblings.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Like,
Well, it's interesting they've been alive for 14,000 years.
I know.
And it feels like they're just, I'm about 50.
yeah.
You know, I get down with you.
Like, I feel like it would be good if they were really making a point about how, even though they've lived for 14,000 years, they haven't really grown up or something. Like, Eddie Redmayne's character definitely resembles a big brother, but it's like and I think they're trying to maybe make a point about one of the other kids being spoiled or one of them being a forgotten child.
Yes.
But it's just not there, which
No.
is usually what is there for 3 siblings.
Yeah. But then, okay, you've got like, again, that's in the background. That's not in the show, in the movie, sorry.
Yeah.
The main, I guess, like kicking off point is Mila Kunis' cousin is like, hey, want to make a couple of bucks? Sell your eggs. We're going to go sell your eggs.
He is. It's thickly Australian when he says it
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Okay, man, how you doing? Fucking go drop your eggs down the fucking round. It's
His subplot, wild.
and it takes up some of the movie.
It's
takes
most
up-
of the 2 hours. It's crazy. They couldn't even restrain themselves from world building that guy and how he spent his egg money from his
Well, it's like,
cousin.
who gives a shit? He buys Dark Souls on Xbox 360. It's like, great. I'm glad we learned that.
No, well, but he shouldn't have.
Oh, it's a great game. You gotta play it. It's very hard. Now, I feel like we're skipping a lot of things. I don't think the film even gives it that. Let's go back. The royal family. Channing Tatum saves Mila Kunis from when she donates her eggs. Aliens attack her.
Yep.
He saves her, and then she kind of gets whisked away to this like, all right, she's pretty much down to whatever happens.
Yeah, she's keen to ascend.
Yeah. Well, her name's Jupiter, so
Yeah,
you know.
and she ascends.
Yeah, she's read the script.
Never don't ascend.
It feels crazy. They go to Sheen Bean, and he Sheen Bean.
Sean Bean.
Sheen Bean.
You mean Scene Bean?
Scene Bean.
Scene Bean.
Scene Bean has bees.
I think Sean Bean's so funny in this. His name's Stinger. Right.
Because like, it's not like Channing Tatum's called something else, but like, he's like, well, I'm at half bee, so I'm pretty much, they must be so pissed at, what's that called? Coldplay?
Yeah.
And Sting? Was it Sting or U2? One of those bands.
Oh, the Police. Sting.
Oh,
Sting
so
is
off.
the singer of
They
Police.
must be pissed at him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because Stinger doesn't have the ring to it. Sting?
I think on the other side of this are the filmmakers thinking people are gonna love Stinger.
We've commissioned $30 million of Stinger.
It comes across like they're like ready to give him a spin-off film. Like the amount of times Stinger walks into this movie, sort of shakes the movie up a little bit, and then like walks away. And then, like, it's so weird. Like, you keep on being like, I guess Stinger's not along for the adventure. And he's like, yes, I am!
Well, he keeps double-crossing. I can't keep track of who's double-crossing who. It seems like people keep fucking over people, and I'm not sure what they're doing.
He's never not double-crossing as much as Jupiter's never not ascending.
Oh, that's so true. Put that on the bit.
It should be called Stinger's double-crossing.
Jupiter ascending. Brackets, they're doing it at the same time quite a bit. It's a lengthy title, but it matches the script.
I mean, if Birdman got away with it. So Sean Bean's basically told, hey, can you give all the exposition for the film in a single scene?
That's the thing, because we're not up, so it's like 40 minutes in, and I'm like lost, and then suddenly Sean Bean's like, I'm gonna not even bother showing. I am gonna tell.
He as an actor basically takes a deep breath and goes, bees pick queens. He's got wings, and he took them away, and then he betrayed them, and then I saved them, and then I've been ousted.
There's three of them. Now you're a queen. Essentially, she's the reincarnation of their mother.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure why it works or how it's happened. A thing I guess I'm happy the film explained was because like the villains are human. It's like how they're human.
Yeah,
and apparently humans came to Earth, blew up the dinosaurs, and then planted their like human seeds.
I do like this thing as like humans have evolved past Earth.
I like that.
Like it's
they're not even evolved past Earth. They've come from a different, like we are aliens.
Yeah,
that's great. Again, there's little things like that's fun.
There's little things. I'll basically just buzz because after this scene,
you'll buzz power through this.
No, I'll buzz right through.
Stinger would love that.
This guy. So basically, she ends up going and meeting the sister.
Yes,
I think this info dump the sister gives is all the interesting stuff.
Me too. I thought so too. Like she was like, here's how we came from the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We can live forever.
Yeah.
And pretty much like, although our evil plan's a bit evil, I don't think she completely tells it, but she's like, we pretty much own a bunch of planets and they're ours and we harvest them.
Yeah. It's a great concept to me as well that we're very intelligent with all the technology in the world. And so the only thing that drives us is having more time.
Yes.
And so the idea of humans being harvested, like the Earth just essentially being a big farm, I love.
I love that. And I feel like they're pretty good, the Wachowskis, at like, it's a fun metaphor for like capitalism, because that's what it feels like. It's a bit heavy-handed, but I like it a lot. And I think it could really work. It's just a shame it kind of like focuses on other things.
I know.
It's a shame, because I think it's a great idea. I mean, they also did make The Matrix, and it does feel a bit taken from that, which is odd. But I think this concept really works. I like it.
Yeah.
That essentially we're a farm for more evolved humans.
Yeah. And this is like the world building I like.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's a shame that we don't pursue anything to do with that.
No, it's a shame, isn't it? Because then I feel we get bogged down with like Channing Tatum. Like, I don't care if they're animals. It's like too much stuff. That's a great concept, and that alone.
It's like how
it's a shame a producer was like, you like shorten the script, not cut this world building and focus on just that.
40 minutes on the telescope. All right.
Make it an hour.
And I like the stuff that she throws out there. Like, we tried cloning, it almost killed the entire race.
Yes.
Like, it needs to be natural genetics,
Yeah.
like, for us to be able to purify it. It's all, like, really interesting, but only that.
Yes. And it also, like, sort of, like, proves their point of, like, because, like, hey, sometimes capitalism, like, the rich are, like, you know, living their best life. That sort of, like, capitalist sort of thing. It's like, well, here's our side of things. Things are going pretty well for us. But little do you know that, like, the destruction of, like, that works really well. Why is there wolves in this?
I know, it's so weird, because it also posits, so if that's how everybody ticks, how old's everybody else?
Yeah.
Right? How old is Channing Tatum then? Has he ever had it?
Well, I don't think anyone had. I think it's just this elite family.
It's just the elite family.
Well,
so-
I think
but they
I
make
think-
so much of it. How are they making
do.
their money?
Well, 'cause
are
remember
they
that
not
whole-
selling it to other elites?
They are selling it to a lot of elites,
Yeah.
but I think it's like it's the high, like it's the most valuable thing in the universe.
I know, but it's not like it would be-
She alludes it's like more than a planet.
Yeah, I know, but it's odd that they don't make a point of like, if it's the most expensive thing, like it gets stolen, it trickles down to
Yes,
certain people. It'd
that's
be
true.
interesting considering Mila Kunis is like, hey, that's just like, it's blatant murder, and Channing Tatum's like, I've had it once. Like, I'm so and so. It's like, is the common person not even touching this?
Because that's an interesting thing. Because again, going down that capitalist route, it's like, oh, cool, like middle, like it's like, well, you're still sort of fucking up. That's great. And I feel like they've proven that they can do this.
Yeah.
So it just sucks.
'Cause
It's
it's-
like not this.
It's sort of fun that they're 14,000 years old and they're stuck in their like 20s to 30s. But it's like they should be meeting people that are in like their 50s and 60s who are a few thousand years old.
Yeah.
You know, so they haven't got enough money to go right back to their
Yes.
perfect peak youth, but they've got enough money to just keep fucking going.
I feel like it must have freaked out when they saw it in time.
Clocks on their arms. Rats. Yeah, so basically she just has this conversation and Channing's like, I'm taking you away from her.
Yeah. Channing Tatum keeps busting into like places and it steals her. And then Mila Kunis, they're like, right, you're the queen. We need to get you a passport. It's an odd tangent, but everyone's all on board. It's weird. There's like, again, I like it. It's like the bureaucracy of like this whole universe. That's
Yeah.
good world building. It's just an odd that all characters are like, well, she would need to get a passport.
Yeah, I know, right?
So we'll
There's
wait.
no way
Like,
around
all,
it.
Like the villains, like Eddie Raymond's like, get her the passport, then we'll continue. We want to be good legally.
Yeah. This is like one of the scenes I remembered.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really fun scene. Like the
Yeah.
movie has like no comedy. So it's like, it's like a fun, lighthearted scene. I think it's like Bob, who's like the robot that's like, yeah, I'll get you through it. And
Yeah,
it's
even
like,
a robot's frustrated with
yeah,
the system.
he's like slowly broken and then has to resort to like doing illegal things.
Yeah.
There's also like a scene where he meets another Bob and they're both sort of looking at each other like,
Fuck
are we
you. Yeah.
attracted to one another?
And I feel like there's like it's very like they've stolen stuff from Brazil. Terry Gilliam's in the film, which was crazy. It's like fun. It's a fun nod, but it's also like,
Is he?
Yeah, he's the the guy at the end. Of
That's
the
nuts. I
montage.
thought the scene felt so Terry Gilliam-y.
Yeah.
I
So they've
always
just- they've-
remembered
they've
it
just-
being
they've
very
literally just homaged it.
yeah,
They've gone,
because
put
there's
him in there.
set design and vibe never returns.
No.
And it looks great,
It's
but they
upsetting.
never do it
Why
again.
Why don't just have just that? That's
It's-
fun.
it's like all
just remake
practical.
A modern Brazil. That sounds fantastic because it is Brazil. Like it's that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've gone right back to those wolves. It's like you pricks.
Will the half wolf man get his wings?
They've got like 5 films, and then they've gone 5 very interesting films. Given it $250 million and gone, this has to be very attractive to a 12-year-old. It's like, why?
My favorite thing. So it must have been Terry Gilliam then that has the most needlessly ominous line in the entire movie of "Congratulations and my deepest condolences." I was like, ooh.
He needed a paycheck from that Monty Python. He wrung out. It's not on Stan at all.
He's like, why won't somebody remake Time Bandits?
Dr. Parnassus, why is no one making it? Come on. What's that one that like he really
Don
struggled with?
Coyote.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a whole scene where she's like, why do you keep calling me your majesty?
Yes.
My notes is misspelt it though, and it's your magistrate. And I think that would have been a fun
That's
dynamic.
hot. Well, because like she keeps like she's like again, Mila Kunis isn't given much, and it's weird when she suddenly like has a character because Channing Tatum's like Your Majesty, and Mila Kunis is like, damn, I kind of fucking get like horny if you say that.
Mila Kunis falls head over heels for Channing. It's insane how into one another they get.
That's the thing as well. Throughout this whole thing, it's a love story.
Oh,
that's the weird thing. They've gone. This is so much world. You know what? Theme of love is what we're going to be focusing on.
It's so funny. It's the other thing that I love is Stinger keeps on being like, Channon's looking for his pack.
Yeah.
Has he found it anew?
He's in heat. And he's ready to mate. And he's like, Stinger, stop. He's like, he's a humping dog. He's gross.
He's ready to mate. He needs a pack, and he wants his fucking wings back. It's the most dangerous man in the universe, and his name's Kane!
All right. At this point, I don't remember. They've got the passport. It's weird the plot now resumes. They're like, right, all right, you better go to Eddie's other brother.
Yeah, so they now go to the other brother, and Channing Tatum gets taken, and I thought the jail cell they put him in is so funny. The funniest little jail cell.
Well, because I thought they were doing a Star Wars thing, because they do like the circle in the ground and like, lower him, and like he's going to be put in a brick, and they're like, nope, just bars on top, like a circle.
It's crazy. They go into a room, huge room, a circle opens up, they put him in it, and then he goes down, and you think the floor would revert back to how they entered.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It then grows bars, but not all the way across.
It's a falling hazard. It's a dangerous jail cell if you're around the area. You're not walking over that. He's gonna grab your legs.
But it doesn't look like there's no other circles on the ground. So it means there's only one cell here in this floor, and that room is to accommodate one cell in the floor. It's such a waste of space. Like,
I guess that's a commentary on like how exorbitant these people are, but also like every jail cell. Imagine that, building a bunch of rooms for one person in the jail, but then not building in the room and then building a circle in the room.
It's them going, I want prisoners to have a very tiny amount of space, but that makes me sad to think there's a tiny space in the spaceship, so make sure it's a small part of a big part.
I think we've nailed it. That's exactly what the architect was like. Fucking hell. All right. 50 rooms, so large with tiny cells in it.
What type of note is this? How am I meant to get away with this? Alright, we'll have little sharp bars they can come across, I guess.
No. I want it to be a tripping hazard. I want this to be a dangerous place to be for prisoners and the guards.
We've got to have a railing around it. Surely.
Safety is not my concern. I can't stress to you how like corrupt I am as a capitalist, like as an overlord. I don't mind anyone dying.
You don't want the spaceship to be up to code at all?
I do not. I just swear to God, bitch. I am so goddamn old. I remember when we used to hit people with sticks. You think I give a shit about safety, fucking rail? Don't even fuck with me here. Make my billion big rooms with small little things in it now.
Do you reckon that Channing Tatum got onto the ship and the guy was like, oh, we've never used one of my big room, small room cells?
The architect, like, yay. Well, they're all...
The architect at 2,000 years old. Oh, thank God. It finally paid off.
Eddie Redmayne walks in. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit small. Can we put him in the corner? The architect just turns to ash in just disgust.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we're just missing. You should know, all the crew are like crocodiles or like very pasty monks. That's the sort of, I don't know, who the
it's a bizarre combo.
It's because it's humans, them, and crocodiles. So I don't really know how they're, getting around, but good for them, I guess.
So the brother basically goes, hey, this is one of the capsules that makes you young. And she's like, oh, what's it made from? He's like, the lives of 100 people. She just drops it. And she's like, oh, what a waste of people. Yeah. And it's like, you
Mila Kunis on the ground slurping it up like, oh man, I'm so sorry.
I would love it if the brother was like, can't let it go to waste, and just started like rolling around in it. Like
that took off 8 weeks just there. Yum.
Oh God, I feel like it's Monday again.
I will say, I do think it's quite bad. I did think, you know what? If this is your like business, Earth's 8 billion people, you must be frothing at the mouth.
So much
That's
money.
such a big payday.
She has been explained how expensive this is, right? I'm surprised he didn't get halfway through talking and she's drunk at all.
Well, that's I think the biggest issue with the film is that like Mila Kunis's arc, you think is going to be like, she's going to stop this, but we'll get into that a bit later. Anyway, the brother of Eddie Redmayne's like, Yes, this is how we do it, but I'm like totally not fucking evil. Like,
He's like, actually, my mum hated it. I hate it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. We should fucking
you got,
marry.
you got that passport, right? So I guess technically, so she's now got a passport, so she's officially the heir, right?
Yeah, so the passport's basically gone. Now there's a system
Yeah.
that says you own Earth.
It's odd that they're so hell-bent. They seem so wealthy that they don't even care about the law, and yet they're still like, there's bureaucracy to be had here.
It's weird that there's so much bureaucracy, and it even said in the will that Eddie Redmayne gets Earth that he doesn't just take her to court.
Yeah.
Like, there's a great Aaron Sorkin film in
this
here.
is a Judge Judy case for the win. I just think that'd be just so thrilling on daytime TV.
Just an episode of, like, Law and Order.
It would be fun. I mean, it'd be Succession, essentially.
Oh my god, Succession.
God.
But one of them's maybe a wolf.
Succession, Dune, and then a wolf in the room. I just think it would just land. HBO, grab it
You
up.
know that's how they pitched it.
Well, because the brothers pretty much like, right, you got a passport. I need to marry, I guess, my mother to then make you... I think because she marries, he takes his name and then loses the title. I don't know how it works.
Well, it's just, if they were to marry, she would leave everything to him. So he then kills her. He
Yeah.
just gets Earth. It's very long-winded.
I don't know how Mila Kunis falls for that. I can't remember what he lie he says. Like,
I don't know, but basically, when he gets the ring out, she gasps.
yeah.
So she's in it for the ring, it seems?
Well, I again, little gems. I like the rings just like tattooed on you. I think that's kind of fun.
It's weird a ring like a ring pops up and is like, I'm a regular wedding ring you'd wear,
Yeah.
but I'll just tattoo it.
But it is, I mean, in fairness, it feels like a script writing note. Like, we need Jeopardy. We need like a countdown. And they're like, well, we can't just put a ring on her. So we need if the tattoo's complete, then she's married. If not, well, this whole wedding's like void.
There's so many people at this wedding. Right?
Well, that's the bit. They go, yeah, it's not even like love. It's just robots. He says that in a line.
Does he?
Yeah. So he nailed you. He nailed you.
Also, at some point during this time, they've attempted to kill Kane. They put him into like a thing where they're like, good luck surviving out in space.
Yes.
Even though he like held onto a spaceship earlier in the movie.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. I mean, they like it's weird Jeopardy. It's like I don't care. Like we know we've only been with him. Like he's fine.
He gets out of his situation so easily every time.
Constantly. Someone goes like, "Hey man, you're totally gonna die." Every time he attempts a death-defying stunt,
Absolutely.
always makes it. He's made it. He's made it. What's it been like? 24 hours. He's done crazy things in that time.
They're like, you won't get out of this one. The solution's in the room. He just has to kick it open.
What's great there is like, you're not gonna get out of this airlock. Now we did take out the airlock, like, oxygen in it. No. Okay, just let it float on.
He floats out with like 40 of them.
Yeah.
He's good for a day. Like, he couldn't have
He's
more
milling
time.
around. He's doing a little Sudoku in the like space. He needed a break.
Absolutely.
But it is a weird way to write it. That's how. Like, it's so big, this world, but it's just those little things suddenly piss you off. It's like, why bother?
Also, how long has it been? Do you reckon Mila Kunis saw herself getting married at the beginning when she woke up that day?
I don't know. What'd she get? She was in the bathroom. Her rich like housemate was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go donate eggs too." Saw little aliens. Got kidnapped by Channing Tatum. And then she's like, "All right, I guess I'll get beamed to a spaceship." So you think she was at that point? She was down for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then, during this time, the mum from Earth gets taken away.
Yes, and
right?
the fam.
And the fam.
We haven't seen them, so I kind of forgot they were there.
One is grotesquely Australian.
Yeah.
So
Can't
goddamn
stress that. If
Australian.
you take one thing away from this podcast, it is a hideous Aussie.
They're
on
trying to
screen.
make us think he is a Russian man. He is Australian. She's now with Eddie Redmayne,
Yes.
who has barely been in the film, right?
I feel like there was such like a this was kind of like the sort of like he was like quite a lot of Oscar buzz, a lot of like
It's the year he won, right?
yeah. And then I feel like this destroyed it. And watching this, he does like 2 of those shouts. I think the performance is brought down by the fact no one else is committed to this.
I think he's doing something.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. I
Yeah.
think he's a bit on the side of campy, but I also think he's given such a fucking dull character
Yeah.
that if he wasn't actually doing something like that,
it would be
nothing.
It would be nothing. Well, the other siblings are doing nothing.
yeah,
as
and
a
they're
result.
so forget that
Yeah.
the only reason you pay any attention to Eddie Redmayne's character is because he's going, I'm gonna make some wild creative
And
decisions.
I think that's why the film's kind of got such a low score, because I feel like there's like 4 wild choices, and sadly all of them have failed. And as a result, like that was like the big like things you can just jump onto.
But it's weird he ends up being the major villain when these siblings don't see each other past once at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like there's very little, like the siblings aren't trying to steal her from one
no,
another.
I feel like it'd be fun if the siblings were kind of fucking over each other.
Yeah.
I think it's like implied they are, but we don't see it at all.
Yeah.
So
Just
Eddie
bizarre.
Redmayne's like, I guess I'm the final, but it feels very Mario-esque. Like I've beaten all the Koopas. Now it's Bowser.
It's like, and we also know from the get-go, he's definitely the one that killed the mom.
Oh, what?
So I do love. He has hilarious lines though, which is like he like yells like I create life,
Yes.
and then just like whispers and he's like and I destroy it. But it's just like okay, well, so
He's
what
got
do
that
you?
little cape with like attached to his wrist. I love those things.
Yeah.
They're so pointless, but my god, it's fun.
She gets so slapped in this scene.
Yeah.
he really just slaps her.
It's just like it's such a shame. I don't think Mila Kunis is a bad actress. I
Neither.
just think this is just a really like Channing Tatum's not given much. Mila's not given much. Eddie's-
Everybody's struggling.
Yeah.
I don't. But again, if you don't know what's going on in your movie, also it's like I think their performances are bogged down by like a lot of editing, so their motivations seem weird.
It felt like a film that had been like directed to be able to be fixed in post quite a bit. Like none of the shots or like the sort of coverage or any scene felt very purposeful, which I feel like they normally do quite well. Whereas these were just big wides, take it from 5 angles, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's just odd. Also during this like big climax, which is again just the most nothing.
It's odd, isn't it?
Check out
'Cause
like
it's. I mean, like we've got Channing Tatum fighting one of the dragon henchmen, and then Eddie Redmayne and Mila Kunis pretty much doing like Empire Strikes Back, like fighting in like the Death Star vibes.
in between this, we get the best character in the film. I squealed with delight. There is an elephant man with his little trunk. Like it's so.
It's taken quite a bit, and again, like even Star Wars, but this is like feels so. Why is he there? Why? In fairness, if they were like the whole reason why we made it,
It's for that.
It's for that bit.
It's
If they were like,
100%
we've
for that.
allowed this world people to merge with animals, so this elephant man can exist. Because his trunk's all waving around when he's about to crash
Oh,
the
it's
spaceship.
so good. You know, it's like one of those things where they were just like, they were like, why in the script does it just say an elephant man screams? And they're like, oh, because the elephant man screams. And
Yeah.
like, are there other animal spliced people in there?
It's crazy we've seen Sean Bean as a bee, Channing as a wolf, and just the elephant guy. I'm convinced it's the only reason they had it.
He's the only one that looks like the character. He's
Yeah.
a full little mini
One of
elephant.
them's like, I'm half lion. It's like, you're just a human. What's
just
going
sort
on
of
there?
like, which half?
I've got a bit of a tail, but you can't see it. It's in my
I've
pants.
got the
guy with
cock
the- yeah.
the size of a
I've
lion.
got a prickly cock.
Yeah.
It is spiked like a cat. And the elephant's like, I got my entire body. I've got hooves as an elephant.
I've just got a lot of pride. That's all I've got. I'm just a really prideful person.
Progressive. It's progressive.
Imagine just being like, I'm half lion. And they're like, where? I'm very prideful.
And a lot of courage, a lot of courage and prideful.
I'm swimming in courage. Now put him up. Put him up. Put him up. Put him up. Oh, God. Elephant Man, 10 out of 10. I like to think that once they got in the dailies Elephant Man, they said put the budget back up.
Buck up.
Back up to 400.
You made that telescope scene 2 hours, you get that elephant a goddamn spin-off, and we'll give you 500 mil.
What do you mean it used to be 600 pages? Restore them all. Shredded them. I'll get the intern back on that. Don't you worry.
We're gonna argo that shit so hard.
We're gonna argo all of that.
So many interns will be arguing right now.
Oh my god.
like that as an
Guys, do we watch Argo?
Where are we at? They have a big fight. It feels... I did think the film was over. I was like, really hoping
it
it
goes
was 30 minutes of credits.
They tease Eddie Redmayne die. I was just like, God, I cannot wait for Eddie Redmayne to die. And they just tease it over. You're like, oh, surely he's dead now. No, it's just like he is so comedically like a shriveling little man, and she's just like belting him with a stick.
I do love one of the best scenes just before the fight scene happens. She has a gun, and he goes, "You're not gonna shoot me," and she's like, "Oh yeah!" Bang to the knee. It's crazy.
He's like, oh no!
"What the fuck, Mila? Jesus Christ!" It's such a strained moan.
It's hilarious too, because at the beginning of this scene, he's just like, do you want to know what my mother said to me before I killed her? And she has no interest.
She's like, this 48 hours ago, I thought we were the only ones on Earth. I couldn't give a shit about this subplot. She's
goes, like, I learned things about bees today.
Yeah, that my brain is retained enough. I don't give a shit about this subplot.
I've
I'm
got
just gonna
half
kill
a
ya.
wedding ring tattooed on me.
I've been at the DMV for fucking hours. I couldn't give a shit what your goddamn mother did, huh?
I watched Bob the bureaucracy robot. I fuck himself. Do you want to know what my day's like? I don't care.
I dropped 100 humans on the ground and saw a grown man lick it up. It was odd.
I may be in love with a wolf man with wings.
I do think the reason the film does fail so much is because we've just like knocked off the plot points. That's insane.
I know. Isn't that rough? Isn't that simply rough? Anyway, I just love that in this scene, she's not interested in his story to the point that he just has to go, this is what my mum said.
Yeah.
And it's like, she doesn't care.
She's like beating with a crowbar. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It's like a scary movie skit. He's so comedically beat. I'm like, oh, let me monologue.
Yeah, and she's like, shut up. I want to go home.
I got to ascend.
That's my job. What do we learn? Essentially, okay, we're at the end of the movie. Mila Kunis, pretty much everyone, all the aliens on the other side, the big geopolitical war, they fuck off. Mila Kunis is now just given, like, it's pretty much like, hey, so you've inherited, I don't know, $1 quadrillion. You own pretty much all the solar system, and you own Earth. What are you gonna do? She's like, I'm gonna go back to my cleaning job and give it the best goddamn job I can do.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that it's like she just learns that she liked the life she had.
Yeah.
Which is a very nothing arc.
It's a nothing arc and kind of makes me like, I feel like the Wachowskis are very much like, we're gonna do it. And this one feels like, you know what, maybe settle. Huh?
They really?
Even if you've been given everything, just settle.
It's time to settle. They came on at the end of the movie, and they were just like, you should settle. And I was like, oh, okay.
Thanks, I guess. That's nice. Like, it's a weight off my shoulders, but damn.
It's nice to be told.
Yeah.
This
Win
was
the
me.
lottery.
I haven't settled yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Was this not? Look at
Is
this.
this not settled? Do I look happy?
Yeah, but it's also odd because the film's kind of like, she's kind of inherited the problems of this old system, and she's like, I'm not gonna fix it. I'm just gonna stay ignorant, which feels like she's the villain.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. Where she's like, I might harvest them one day.
Yeah.
So how many is 100 lives worth?
Oh shit, that's a lot of money. God damn, you buy a lot of telescopes.
She's
With
looking down like, yeah, no, she gets like a telescope as well from her family, which I thought this was right. So it was $3,000, and they all pitched in, and there's 8 of them. That's so expensive still.
that. It was $4,000 the telescope.
See, it's $500 each.
Well, don't you remember the cousin sold her eggs and got some money? I don't get what their plot was. Did he sell her eggs and then take 66% of the money?
Yeah.
Why didn't she? Surely that's
Wouldn't
a bad
she have been paid? Why was he? But
why was there a middleman to selling eggs?
Crazy. He then pre-bought everything.
Yeah.
So he had all that money, or he put it all on a credit card. I don't know. Just, it's like, and you can make money stretch. Like, I think he's like, and I spent 10 grand, and it's like, oh, you can live in Europe for a while as a backpacker on that.
He's the middleman to sell eggs. Like, it's odd that was need to be mediated.
Classic Australian behavior. I don't know what else to call it. I thought they've nailed us. The Wachowskis, they've spent a lot of time in
That
Australia.
Russian accent? God, they've really fucking... they've got us. We're always stealing eggs, aren't we? And we're spending money before we have it. That's classic Australian culture.
You know what his dad said to him before he died? Never, don't be stealing eggs.
Channing and her get together. He gets wings.
Yeah. Crazy she has no like, wow, my life and my family, who I care about so dearly, in the greater scheme of things, are cattle.
Yeah.
we're just pigs to the slaughter.
She's pretty much back to square one. She's like, she literally does not change.
Yeah, she doesn't.
It's an odd arc to have and given this character.
She's also a little turned on by his wings.
Yeah, no, she's like, call me your majesty, and let me goddamn put those wings in my wings, huh?
Ooh, I didn't like it. It's the same with that line that I didn't like where he's like, I've got more in like line with a canine than I do you. And she's like, I love dogs. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah. It was an odd like directing scene, but hey, it kind of built on the world building, you know? That's the thing.
Oh, it definitely added.
Yeah.
It definitely added.
Carl, who would watch Jupiter Ascending?
I think children are really going to love Stinger. I think they're really going to be taken by his character.
Every youth, a big poster of Sean Bean. From the Lord of the Rings? No, it is Stinger. And he has such an arc and such a character motivation. He's really the Boba Fett of this generation.
He is.
In 20 years' time, he's going to get his own spin-off, and it's going to be stunning.
I cannot wait for when I have kids and they're fighting about who's going to be Stinger and who's going to be Elephant Man. Two great characters. That's the thing. This is going to be me to my two children. Neither of you can lose in this battle. You have both picked a great... It's like trying to be Luke and Han. You guys, neither of you are going to lose. You just got two great characters right now.
Oh, I need to find you a Stinger action figure. I hope somewhere out there someone's made it. Oh, damn. Who would watch this? Oh, man, it's like 5 films, 600 pages, and they've picked the worst parts of everything. It's interesting for their filmography. It's definitely probably their worst. I do now want to go back and watch a couple of other films. I feel the one they did before Matrix I'm keen for.
Run Lola Run? Is that them?
No, it's B something. I can't remember what it's called.
They also potentially ghost directed Viva Vendetta, which I
wrote that. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think that's a good film. I like that one.
Yeah.
I would really watch Cloud Atlas. Like Cloud Atlas it's like sluggish and definitely like a lot. Like it's a lot, and then it's also got like a lot of, because they obviously race bend so many of those characters. That movie's gotten a lot of like controversy as like time has gone on, but that movie is like very ambitious, and you're either in it or not. But I really enjoy the ambition of that film. So I think
genuinely, not as like a movie, I'm impressed with this film. I think we should seek out this film to see what could be, but as an actual film, I get why the rating is so low. As
a TV, I'm sure if like you did the full 600 pages, like the conceptually and everything to do with this family, it feels like it could have been Game of Thrones.
Oh, of course.
Or something like that.
Well, it feels like they've done every element, they've done like probably 20% of each, and then put it into a movie on that'll work, and it just feels so flat.
Yeah. Everything to do with the human harvesting is like really interesting.
Yeah.
And also, I think when they show bits of it, is like, I was like, oh wow, intense.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Yeah. So it's a shame. Man, the Wachowskis love like just fucking up the human race, don't they?
Oh yeah, they really do.
They're like, you guys are batteries. You guys are just cattle.
Remember that Matrix scene? People don't like that new one. I quite like it. I like this sort of, I like the sort of stuff they're like, hey, I like their theme. They're a bit heavy-handed, but they got the right stuff. When they were just, remember when a bunch of people just jumped off the towers, and then people just started slamming down the ground?
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
Yeah, that was sick.
Nuts.
Yeah. The last 30 minutes of the new Matrix is awesome.
It is, yeah.
It just takes ages to
well,
get
that's
to
the
it.
thing. That fucking thing, they're like, you want to see some world building? I'm like, oh, I hate outside the Matrix.
Yeah.
This sucks.
But it was also like that new one. And again, I think just because of them as writers, in my opinion, but I think the new Matrix is like half a film. Like they're like, we're gonna try and save Trinity, and it's like, I think there's more problems arise once they get back out.
Yeah.
So it's odd that they're like, I think that the movie ends where I think it should be the middle of a story.
Well, the middle's that like odd bit where they're like, should we just chill around, you know? Oh,
we got Jada Pinkett Smith back.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's ripe. She's about to just go to the Oscars tomorrow. Hope that doesn't go bad for her.
Yeah, hopefully many careers don't end tomorrow.
Who would watch this? I don't know. if your kid keeps bugging you to watch Star Wars and you don't want them to go down that path, put this on. It'll probably either put them on like I don't want like Star Wars or your weird elephant stinger tangent.
I reckon if I was a kid and I watched this movie, I would never watch a science fiction film again. I'd go, Dad, never again.
I'm a fantasy boy. Now put on where's the stone, the sword? I need to watch that to calm down.
Yeah, it's just really deep fantasy. Where's Highlander?
Where's Black Cauldron? That's what I was trying to make the joke before. You seen Black Cauldron? Sad film. Kids should not have watched that.
Disney doesn't make them like they used to.
Oh, it is the saddest piece of shit. My first concept of death was that.
Oh,
And it's the most annoying side character. A one you don't think's gonna die, and he jumps in the cauldron and dies.
no.
He's very annoying. But I'm always on edge, you know? I never know what the film's gonna do. You know?
Maybe they'll just end up in that cauldron like the rest of us. Oscar, what are we reviewing next week?
Car, we're venturing to the cinema. I didn't even realize it. It snuck on a trilogy of Poirot. The
Thank
Haunting
God.
in Venice.
I was pretty shocked to see the poster the other day. He's got his mustache back.
Yeah,
So-
I'm convinced they went, no one saw that one. It'll be weird if he starts without a mustache.
And is intensely scarred.
Yeah.
And then and you'd be like, oh God, what happened to him? And they just play the same flashback again.
It's a very cheap film. Most of it's just clips. It's
Oh,
a clip show movie.
I love it. Previously on Poirot, there's enough champagne to fill the Nile. I'm scarred. Hideous, if you will.
That's all we learned from that film. Thank you for listening.
Bye.